Michael Waddell. I can't believe it. We're together, big guy.
Man, I can say a lot. Jim and I go way back. I remember like 1997. Yeah, I felt like I was.
You were a kid.
You know, I was
You
young.
were a skinny kid.
I was a skinny kid.
Now you.
And then finally now I found them biscuits, and I learned that I like them.
I stay away from the biscuits and the gravy because it's just like.
I've learned not to. It's like the happier I get, the more I eat. And so, but I need to cut back a little bit, and it don't do you any good to have all this good cooking and
yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
It's tough.
Southern
but
fried steaks.
exactly.
So what are we going to talk about today, Michael?
So the whole thing is, one is obviously everybody knows you, Jim. I mean, you've hunted literally. We cut up a lot, and that's the cool thing about cutting up. You know, is I know my true friends is because we come in swinging and having fun and high fiving. Next thing you know, we're into some fun.
Because if you don't,
that means you're not like.
And you get stomped on.
You do.
So you gotta come in full blast.
You do. And basically what we want to do, and everybody at Outdoor Channel, obviously you've been on Outdoor Channel forever. And, you know, as it kind of go into the hunt, some of the stuff you done last year, I know this past year was a crazy year for you.
Yeah, it was a rough year, yeah.
It was a rough year, but with that, I know, obviously, as we talk about shock therapy, your hunting has always been therapy. That's where you kind of get away and be able to do some stuff. And I mean, what all did you get into when it come to hunting this year? Did you even get a chance to hunt much?
Yeah, I did. You know, it was a rough year. Louise was, you know, fading on us. So my Yukon territory, I got up there for 3 days. So I mean, to 3 days, the effort it takes to get into the camp and actually go out hunting. But I never want to miss a season. And Louise was doing well enough at that point that I could get up there. So I went for 3 days. I hunted 1 caribou. There's 2 monster moose. My guide, which I have to have a guide even though I own the opening territory, he's 26, and I've taught him how to guide, but I have to legally have one. And he was going crazy because I wouldn't go after the moose. It just, you know, I just wanted to be there. And there was a caribou, so I got that for meat for the winter. But that was the only animal that I took.
And you picked that area, which I know that's sacred ground. We watched the show. Do you feel like you was chasing something a little different this year than just a trophy animal?
And the year before.
Yeah.
The year before too. Yeah. You know, you start to reflect on what an amazing life we live, what a lifestyle we have, and to appreciate it. When you see it, things that you had planned for the rest of your life being taken away. And then nothing you can do about it. You have to actually accept it and say, you know, an angel came down. I spent 39 years, 113 days, 14 and a half hours with that angel, and the angel went back. So it gave me a chance. It's cathartic. It's my cathedral out there, the wildlands, to sit in the mountains and just think about, you know, what this life truly means and how blessed we are to live this one life and how precious every single day is. So that's, you know, 3 days up there was like spending a year in the wildlands. It was wonderful.
I can see that. And, you know, and I learned a lot of this from you. And I got, you know, we were talking earlier as we was cutting up, not a huge separation in years, but I think it's so easy for us as hunters to get caught up in just chasing a certain score of an animal. I've done it. I'm sure you have. But then when you look back and what you've ever...
Excuse me, do not. Yeah. I'm sure you have because you've done something. Like, hopefully I've never done anything like you've done. So
that's true.
It's like dragging me down.
I'm dragging you down.
Yeah, you're dragging me down.
I couldn't get you to chase turkeys or the big turkeys, but you know what? Every time I've ever seen you shoot a turkey, you was like, hey, Waddell, I got one.
You've never seen me do that because I've only ever
You only
hunted.
did it one time, but it was in some rainforest looking place.
Exactly.
It was in Guatemala or somewhere.
Yeah,
it wasn't no average Alabama turkey hunting.
It was an oscillated turkey down in Central America, yeah.
Yeah, and I did. I happened to catch that episode. I was watching it when it aired.
Oh, come on.
I swear.
You watch every single episode.
I swear. Well, honestly, I will say, and I can give you this, when I turn on Outdoor Channel and you're on, you know, the Hunting Adventure, or Uncharted and all that, it was always guaranteed. You know, there's always those shows that you know is going to be entertaining, and so when you turn it on...
I can honestly say, when I turn it on and I see Bone Collectors, I really hope that it's T-Bone that's on there.
Or the electricity goes out really quick and you don't have to be tortured. Right.
Oh, darn, I forgot to pay my cable bill this week, so
it's out.
Off.
But you know, as we cut up, that's what I've always loved about you. We always josh back and forth. And man, I can say I'm proud of my trophy room when I shot, but dude, the relationships like you was talking about Miss Wheezy. God, I mean, even me, you know, I talked about, she was so special to everybody. But now I've started reflecting, even there's so many people in our life and the campfires. Now I catch myself chasing them campfires and the people,
Yeah.
the cutting up, I don't
But
know.
that's, you know, why that's all part of hunting.
Yeah.
You know, people in the mainstream media, they'll focus on the kill and say that's what those bloodthirsty. That's all. That's not what we want.
Right.
You know, it's family, camaraderie, storytelling, friends, and being in the wildlands with the fresh air. Well, not so much exercise for some of us,
Right.
but it's, you know, those are all parts of hunting, and that's the part that you're at now. You know, when I started, it was the what I got. So you know, I was at that stage. Well, look how big it is. Look at I measure. You know, so it was the what. Then it became the how I got it to make it more challenging. So muzzleloader, bow and arrow, and you know, accomplishment is directly proportional to the challenge. So that became the, you know, how I hunted. But now I'm at the point in my life where it's the why. Why did I hunt? Why do I hunt? Why do I love it? And I spend more time thinking about that than the animal. I mean, I hunted this year for whitetail deer on my own ranch. I never shot one.
Right.
But I loved every second of being out there and appreciated every single doe that walked in and fawn and bucks that weren't quite big enough. I loved it. And you know, last hour, a beautiful big buck walked in, and I didn't shoot it. You know,
Right.
I didn't need the meat. I had a caribou already this year, and I just watched them and I appreciated it. And
Right.
that's the why we hunt eventually, I think. And hopefully with some of us actually articulating that and showing people that this is what it's about, it happens at an earlier age in a hunting career. So,
Yes.
you know, I get it all the time. People come up to me and say, you know, I watch your shows and now I have a greater appreciation for what, and they're young. They're the next generation.
It
Younger,
is.
younger than you even.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It pretty is. I think that's flattering that they pick up on that. And I think there's a maturity that gets in us. Some of us have it at an early stage in our career, you know, but for me, it was pretty early on, just the campfires and the people I got to meet,
Yeah.
the hunts. And we, you know, and everybody was getting animals. But man, just the jokes, the cutting up, and
Of course.
I don't know. It's just a lifetime of memories, and it's nice to know that, especially for yourself, you can walk around here and you got friends that go
Yeah,
back 30, 40 years.
Yeah, that's it. I
yeah.
get guys in their late 40s coming up to me and say, I watched you when I was a kid. And I go, no, you couldn't have. And then I do the math. You go,
Yeah.
yeah, we've been doing it a long time.
Well, it's
mean-
amazing. It's I don't know. Look back. Do you ever get insecure, Jim, that you think, man, I just ain't shot a lot of stuff?
Insecure is not really my strong suit. I got fear and insecurity, no. You know, issues, no. Like and regrets, no. Someone asked me the other day on a podcast, do you have any regrets? Or no, they said, what are your regrets? And I said, well, I don't have a single regret. And
Yeah.
they said, oh, come on, everybody has a regret.
Right.
You know, some regret something. And I said, no, I actually don't, because I lived a life that I was proud of. I made every decision based on the knowledge that I had. So I made the best decision possible with that amount of knowledge.
Right.
Doesn't mean it was always the right decision, but I can't regret that. That's not, it's out of my
But you were
hand.
more knowledgeable after that maybe wrong decision.
Yeah.
You learned from it.
Exactly right. And I didn't have enough information when I made the choice. So no regrets, no fear. Fear is a waste of an emotion when, especially in a dangerous situation. I mean, you probably have been in that when you climb a tree and the tree stand lets go. It's like, if you're afraid, you don't know to grab onto the tree or whatever you guys do. I don't know on your tree stand.
Yeah.
Something. I mean, I'm trying to find something dangerous that you've done in your life. It's like
Really just maybe sitting around a campfire with you in Africa was probably the most dangerous thing I did.
that's right. We were there.
Yeah,
in
we were there in
Botswana.
Botswana. That
Yeah,
was cool.
I forgot about that.
You know, I think that's it, though. I think you nailed it, Jim. The regret. Without regrets, you might not have knowledge. When I say regrets, without things
wrong
that you
choices.
could and wrong
Yeah.
decisions, you really don't gain the
No,
knowledge. I've learned a lot.
And you can't be afraid. Again, it comes back to fear. You can't be afraid of making a mistake.
That's right.
If you're making a decision based on all the information, it's the right decision.
Right.
And you can't be afraid of the result. If it happens to be not so good, then it's not so good. You learn and don't do it again.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I mean, some of us, it takes a couple, 3 times to learn from our mistakes, but
It's interesting when I think about our friendship, seeing your career, even from when I was looking up to you as a writer to everything that went through TV. I feel like even though we can have these mature conversations now, it's almost, I've always felt like we're these man children that has a sense of maturity that looks deeper, you know, than the trophy room and the animal. We're looking in and having all these reflections, but I feel like what I've loved about what I've seen in your shows is you see the man child, you see the kid, but you also see the deep reflection of what it meant after the child and you had a chance to see or shoot this sheep.
Yeah, and that's, I've said it before. I don't care if it's a squirrel or a Cape buffalo. I get just as excited. Finding an arrowhead. I sparkle. I love it. Seeing even flowers. You know, I pick flowers around the world and take pictures of them for Louisa. I mean, it's natural history.
Right.
Find a bone, find an antler, anywhere around the world. I don't care where it is. I am just as excited. An insect.
Right.
I'm just as excited as I was when I was a kid. So you're right about that. I don't know about man-child. That probably describes you better than me. But
Yeah.
But I love it. I love it, and I'm just as excited today after all these decades of experiencing this as I was the first time I picked up my first earthworm or beetle bug. I love it.
And I think that's it. That's the child in us. That's that youthful
Yeah, of course.
energy. It never gets old. Even though it might be the 1,000th time, it's still the first time to see that flower or to see that moose coming through the marsh.
You know, there's an ancestral spirit that we all, anybody that hunts as an outdoorsman, that we all have access to, and the key is often just that: being in the outdoors and hearing a squirrel chirping beside us, or a blue jay quack quack,
Right.
or I guess ducks quack quack. You know, but we are taken back, or where we touch that ancestral soul, and that's, I think, why it's so childish and so joyous. Joie de vivre en français is joy of life, and that's what we have in this industry,
do.
is a joy of life.
We get to celebrate Christmas every day.
Every single day. Every
we're out there
birthday, it's some
Yeah.
kind of celebration every single day for us when we're in the wildlands.
Yeah.
And that's
Sums
it's
it
a
up.
beautiful thing that not everybody in our urbanized world has. They have it, but they have no way of they don't have access to the key.
Right.
We have access to the key.
Yeah.
We go
You're
out there
right.
and sit there, you know, with the leaves falling and the fresh, listen to the coyote wind as it wafts across the land, and the sun's just rising, the land's graying up. And you know, all of a sudden the nighttime creatures are silent and the daytime creatures start.
Yeah.
And you get that dawn light coming up. It's just, I mean, I get shivers just
Yeah.
thinking about it. And that's we have that. We're so blessed as outdoors people.
Yeah. No doubt. Jim, man, thank you for recording all your adventures. I know we've all enjoyed seeing them. And all I ask is, could you shoot something or hunt something that we know what the name of it is? That's all I ask.
Yeah,
Jim
I have. Dagestan tur. So there
Yes,
you go.
I don't even know how to pronounce that. Never have. Jim Shockey, a living legend, man. Somebody deep ingrained in what this culture stands for. And I'm proud to say, man, you've always been a great friend. Pleasure,
Thanks,
buddy.
Michael.
Much
You
respect.
betcha.
Absolutely.